Firewalls are important. They are the network security that establishes a barrier between your internal network and external sources to help keep out bad traffic, viruses, and hackers. In this video, we'll go over the basic firewall settings on Cisco RV260 series routers. Next. We'll start in the web UI of our RV260 and select Firewall on the left-hand side. This will automatically show our basic settings. You'll see our firewall is enabled by default. And since we'd rather not leave our network vulnerable, we'll leave this one enabled. Next, we'll see the DOS, or Denial of Service option. A DOS attack spams requests to a server to prevent access to other users. So having this DOS enabled blocks attacks, such as various types of protocol floods, flood attacks, or IP spoofing. Up next is the block WAN request. If enabled, this blocks ICMP echo requests to the WAN. Typically, when we hear ICMP, the two network utilities ping and traceroute come to mind. These can be helpful tools when troubleshooting, so that might be a reason why someone would disable the block WAN request. However, a lot of network administrators will opt to enable because they want to evade network mapping applications or network discovery attacks. It is more secure to leave enabled, but we do have the option to disable. Next, we have the RESTconf and netconf, basically a management option for network devices and automation on bigger networks, as well as optional on small business routers. We have the option to enable these on the firewall. The next option is LAN and VPN web management. This is how we manage the device itself and whether HTTPS or HTTP is used. Up next, we have SIP ALG, which, if enabled, embeds messages of SIP passing through the router and translates and encodes back the packet. A lot of times we'll see this disabled because it can cause issues with traffic or voice over IP traffic. It can cause events such as dropped calls, deregistration, and one-way audio. Typically, we'll see it disabled. Here we have FTP ALG port. FTP is a widely and commonly used method of exchanging files over IP networks. The default port is 21. Then we have the UPnP, or Universal Plug-and-Play option. We have the option to enable or disable. UPnP is a set of networking protocols that permits network devices, such as PCs, printers, gateways, Wi-Fi access points, mobile devices, you name it, to discover each other's presence on the network and establish functional network services for data sharing and communication. Next is web feature restriction. We have the option to block Java, cookies, ActiveX, and access to HTTP proxy servers. The exception option flips our outcome. If we wanted to only allow Java on the web server, then we would click Java and make sure an exception is enabled. Finally, we have the trusted domain table. Here is where we would add an exception to web feature restriction, adding trust to a web feature on specific addresses. We'll put in our trusted examples in the domain name area. And that's all there is to know about the basic settings of the RV260 firewall. Thanks for watching Tech Talks from Cisco. We'll see you next time.